What is up guys, it's your boy Swolheim here, and today we're talking about the top 10 items you absolutely need in hardcore classic WoW. Number 1, bag of marbles. So let's start the video off with a nice little bag of marbles. This item might look like nothing, but this can be pretty huge. A 25% decreased chance to hit can literally mean the difference between life or death, but it's not a guaranteed lifesaver. You are still leaving things to chance, you are just rigging it in your favor. Think of it like playing poker, but force shuffling to give yourself at least one ace. You are not automatically winning, but you're drastically improving your chances. This bag of marbles has 10 charges, and can be used whenever you are on low health and want to improve your chance of survival by decreasing the target's hit chance, or if you're about to face a named mob or a boss that you know will be difficult, you can use this item during a difficult encounter. Several named mobs between level 40 to level 60 have a berserking ability that lasts for 8 to 12 seconds, and using this item on that mob during his berserking rage will help you out for sure. It's also worth noting that this item is only offered to players of the Alliance faction from a quest in Elven Forest. Number 2, Realistic Igloo. This one is Horde only and can be really helpful in certain scenarios. The fact that Horde has access to this one while the Alliance does not seems incredibly unfair, but it is what it is. You can use this item to root someone in place for 10 seconds, and you get this item from a level 7 quest in Duratar, and you even get 10 of these bad boys, or well, a stack of 10, which can save your life 10 times. Don't get me wrong, it's not a guaranteed lifesaver like the next item we're about to talk about, but it's incredibly strong, especially for classes that lack escapability options and mobility, like for example warriors. If shit hits the fan, just use the glue and run away. Number 3, Light of Elune. This one kind of makes up for Horde having access to that sticky glue, because this one is Alliance only and is the reward from a quest most people do in their late 20s, roughly around level 27, in the southeastern part of Ashenvale. It is the follow-up to a Water Elemental Bracer quest, and it requires you to kill a mob on top of a mountain in the Barrens, and make sure you avoid any Horde guards when crossing the border between Ashenvale and the Barrens. This item is incredibly powerful for hardcore, and I believe you can see why. It's an actual immunity to damage. It provides a one-time only paladin bubble to any class, meaning you can actually bubble as a non-pally. Number 4, Magic Dust. So far, all the items have been obtained through quests, but this one you can literally loot from a mob, and specifically you loot it from the Deserter Elementals or Wind Elementals, specifically Dust Devils in Westfall. This item can be used to sleep a target for up to 30 seconds, usable on pretty much every type of target, and it's like a druid's hibernate ability, but it's instant and can be used on other mobs than just beasts. An actual lifesaver in many scenarios, and not a lot of people know about it, since you don't kill these dust devils very often, and it has a roughly 15% chance to drop when you do kill them. Number 5, Slumber Sand. Going back to questing, Horde has a very similar item like Magic Dust called Slumber Sand, which they also obtain at a very low level from a level 9 quest in Duratar. I am just starting to think Horde looks better and better for hardcore, to be honest. This item only lasts for 20 seconds though, compared to Magic Dust's 30 seconds, but you get 5 of them from completing the quest, and you don't have to farm for them like you would with the Magic Dust. You literally just do a quest. Number 6, Whipper Root Tuber. This is an item you can get access to once you start going to Fellwood, and it can be used as an extra health potion. It also doesn't share a cooldown with health potions, nor triggers a GCD, so it's a very welcome addition to health potions when it comes to increasing your survival, which I would say is pretty important in hardcore when you only have one life. So to start getting these bad boys, you need to do a quest called and collect 2 Blood Amber, and then start cleansing Fellwood by getting corrupted shards or obtaining tainted or corrupted items through herbalism, mining or skinning, and then handing them in to the NPC. This will give you Cenarium Plant Salves, which you can then use to open Whipper Root Tubers, and you need 3 Cenarium Plant Salves to open 1 Whipper Root Tuber, and each plant can give you 3 to 10 consumables. Number 7, Lufa. This is a trinket quested reward from a quest in Searing Gorge to kill Incendosaurs. The trinket itself provides no stats but has a on-use effect to remove bleeds, and can be worth keeping in your inventory. After playing hardcore for more than 500 hours on classic era servers, I have seen numerous people die to bleed effects either after combat has ended, or due to running away from a mob but dying to bleed damage over time while trying to kite. Some classes will obviously benefit more from this item than others, namely classes without any self-healing options like maybe a warrior and a rogue, but I've even seen mages die to bleed damage, so it's worth knowing about it either way. Number 8, Nifty Stopwatch. Getting this item can be a little bit of a pain since you need to do a lengthy quest chain to get it, some parts of which requires handing in items from certain professions like frost oil made through alchemy, and the only way to get frost oil is by crafting it, so if you're doing a solo self-found challenge you simply need alchemy for this. But the trinket itself is absolutely insane for pretty much everyone, and once again it will benefit some more than others, namely those with less mobility, like for example, rogues already have sprint, druids have dash and travel form, mages have blink, but for a warrior or even a warlock, the Nifty Stopwatch is absolutely insane. Number 9, Elegoro Crystals. Now, whenever you're questing in Elegoro, you will probably find some glowing crystals on the ground. Not everyone knows exactly how useful these are, so let's get into it. These crystals are used for a quest where you hand in 7 of each. You then do a follow-up to examine some pylons, and after examining those pylons, most people just forget about it and don't think more about it. But you can hand in crystals to those pylons to get some pretty insane consumables. You have 3 pylons, all of which offer different stuff. So Northern Pylon, option 1, hand in 10 yellow crystals and 10 green crystals for 6 of something called Crystal Restore, healing you for 670 health. Northern Pylon, option 2, hand in 10 red crystals and 10 yellow crystals for 6 of an item called Crystal Charge, dealing damage in a 3-yard radius, basically an explosive. Eastern Pylon, option 1, hand in 10 blue crystals and 10 yellow crystals for 6 crystal spires, dealing damage to enemies when they attack you, basically a Druid Thorns buff. Eastern Pylon, option 2, hand in 10 green crystals and 10 blue crystals for 6 crystal fours, increasing your spirit by 30. And then we have the Western Pylon, option 1, handing in 10 red crystals and 10 blue crystals for 6 crystal yield, decreasing an enemy's armor. And lastly, Western Pylon, option 2, hand in 10 red crystals and 10 green crystals for 6 crystal wards, increasing your own armor. So all of these crystals can be handed in for either a buff or a consumable, like dealing damage or healing you from more damage. Number 10, Flash Rockets from Elwyn. This one is alliance only, but you can find horde alternatives or faction neutrals alternatives by doing the right quests. I believe might even be one in the Shimmering Flats. The reason why I decided to add this one to the list is that having access to explosives without needing engineering is incredibly useful in hardcore. Explosives can be used to split pull enemies, in which if you're pulling a named mob, and that named mob also has adds that are connected to him, you can pull them with an explosive to get threat at the same time, and the adds will have a shorter leash timer. This will allow you to reset the adds while keeping the leash on the boss, and it will be incredibly useful throughout your leveling journey on hardcore. And because you might not want to have engineering, you might want to pick up some rockets whenever possible, and Alliance get access to these rockets incredibly early in their Elven Forest experience. An example use case for rocket split pulling is the Forsaken Courier in the Hinterlands, who has 4 to 5 guards around him. Using a split pull, you can easily pull them all at the same time, and only get aggro of the courier or reset the other ones, turning a very dangerous scenario where you have to kill 4 to 5 to 6 mobs into a very easy one where you only have to handle 1. At the end of this video, I also want to shout out RestedXP for those of you looking for a leveling guide for your hardcore journey, as they have leveling guides based on both speed leveling and leveling as safe as possible, so you can mix and match based on your playstyle. And I can tell you this from personal experience, using RestedXP while leveling makes a massive difference both in terms of efficiency and survival. I highly recommend checking it out, and you can even try it out for free through my link down below, plus get the full version for a discount by using the code Solheim. They have even come out, or they are coming out, with an actual hardcore specific guide based on getting to 60 as safe as possible, so once again, definitely worth checking out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like and subscribe.